Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks that will help you either get your first dunk or just jump higher in general. Let's get going. I apologize if I sweat very much. It's very warm out and I sweat a lot, so this might be a little rough, but whatever. Back to jumping. So one of the most important tips that I can give when it comes to jumping is making sure that you use a lot of arm swing. Without using your arms at all, you're not getting any height, or you're getting a lot less height than you would if you used your arms. If someone goes up for a jump and they just keep their arms at their side, one, you're not gonna get height, and then two, you can't put the ball in the hoop if your arms are at your side. So that's kind of obvious. But just with jumping in general, if you're trying to jump higher, by swinging your arms a lot, loading them in the back, and then reaching back as far as you can, pulling through and raising them to the sky, that's going to give you at least a couple inches extra off of your vertical than just by simply having them at your side or not swinging them at all. So the first overall tip I would say is definitely try to swing your arms a lot. So work on your arm swing by loading them in the back pretty much as far as you can go without injuring yourself, and then pulling through and raising them straight to the sky. So that'll also help change or transfer like forward momentum into vertical momentum if you're coming in for an approach, or if you're just standing there, obviously just vertical momentum in general. So that would be the first tip. So the second tip that I want to give is to make sure that you're using your legs when you're jumping. It may seem kind of obvious, but a lot of times people are losing out on tons of extra vertical that they could be getting because they're not bending their legs enough. So in theory, if we were to not swing our arms and we were to not use our legs at all, we would just stay stationary. And if you were to bend a little bit and push up, you may have extremely strong legs, but if you're not bending those legs at all, you're going to get a couple inches maximum. So in addition to using your arms, you obviously want to use your legs a lot. And to use your legs, you have to bend low. So if I were just standing here and I have a good arm swing and I just don't bend my legs at all, it's not going to be beneficial. So in order to make it beneficial, you want to make sure that you're bending low. You don't want to bend too low, because if you go too low, you're actually going to put a lot of stress on your knees, and that's not going to be good for your health. And then you also are not going to be able to jump as high, because once you get past a certain point of bending, you actually lose vertical. And I don't really know the technical reason why, but I just know it's a fact. So don't bend too low when you're going in for a jump. Part of it is finding the sweet spot for you, and that just comes with jumping a lot and then practicing. So to recap, first tip is to use your arms a lot. So reaching back and then pulling through and up straight to the sky. And then for the legs, you want to bend low and then push up with as much force as you can. So the next important step would be to make sure that you are synchronizing your jumping and your arm swing together. So as you're coming up with the legs, when you bend, you're coming up and you're pulling straight up with your arms. So you're kind of trying to sync them together so that you're pulling up and lifting your legs at the same time. A tip that I got from an old volleyball coach was whenever you're bending and you're bent, right? You have your arms back and they're loaded. You want to pretend that there's like a bar that you have in your hands that you're raising beneath your knees. So you have like a bar in your fists, and then you're raising them beneath your knees and pulling straight up. Obviously the bars are going to go through your legs, it's invisible, but it's a good thing to think about in your mind. So you have that bar loaded behind your back, and then you're going to raise beneath your knees and pull straight up to the sky. Alrighty, so now we can get to the approach. After we have that knowledge of using the arms to get that extra height and bending the legs to get that extra height,